From the New York Post, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, 84, rushed to hospital after breaking hip in fall on foreign trip. And, you know, I didn't know if I was like, should we lead with this story? Because how do you do this? I'm going to be completely honest. When I heard she fell, and again, I know, guys, I'm going to get a lot of criticism for this, but I laughed. And and the reason why I'm somewhat reluctant to mention, because I'm sitting in the other room and the news broke, and it wasn't like I started busting out laughing, but I just like chortled. It's because I don't want her to get hurt. I hope she's okay. Seriously, I do. They're saying she's going to need surgery, but we got too many seriously old people in government. That's what the chortle is. It's like, of course this is going to happen. How are we a nation where one of our three branches of government is a gerontocracy? Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I know Donald Trump is old as well, but Trump is spry. I mean, I'm looking forward to 2028 with J.D. Vance or somebody else. But let me show you this photo that they have from over the Daily Mail. Everyone's pointing out that Nancy Pelosi is struggling to hold on to this guy's arm when they took this photo. And that's indicative of something else is wrong. I think she needs to retire immediately, and they need to have a special election in San Francisco.
That is a wonderful idea. 80 people in their 80s they don't have to worry about the future all that much, or there's not a lot of future for them to worry about. They shouldn't be in making policy decisions for people that actually do have to worry about the future. I mean, I think there's a good argument that was addressed by the founders, saying you have to be a certain age because you need a certain amount of life experience. I assume they didn't really expect people to stay in government for as long as they did. I was watching the All In podcast today, and they were talking about how many people on Trump's team are actually leaders of business. And one of the interesting things that Trump is doing is he's not finding people in the defense industry to go into the Defense Department, or people in the financial industry to go into Treasury and stuff like that. He's taking people that are very smart and that have amassed great wealth because of their intelligence and because of their ability in business. And he's bringing those people in places where they might not be normal for them. But that's a good thing, because then you get different ways of thinking in these positions.
Yeah, it's like having people from, he's building like an all-star cast of people that actually have proven life experience doing those things.
And one of the things that the founders, like all of the founders of this country, they all had other professions.
Right. Weren't they all in their 20s?
No, they weren't all in their 20s, but they were in their their 20s and 30s when they were young dudes. The revolution happened. But when Jefferson wrote the Declaration, he was 33. But they actually governed when they were in their 40s and 50s and stuff like that. But they all had jobs. They all spent a time in government, served the country, and then went back to their jobs. They went back to being normal citizens. And one of the things the guys in the podcast were talking about was this is a very good thing, because it keeps people from being, institutionally involved in the bureaucracy.
Let's just take a pause a second and take a look at the Commonwealth, the once great colonies of the crown. And, I just got to say, what was Canada? Huh? A bunch of fur traders? What was Australia? A bunch of prisoners. New Zealand?
Now you watch it, buddy.
I don't even know people in New Zealand were doing. Americans, good question. We were fighting bears and fighting back.
Yep.
You see, this is a nation founded by the strongest. That's why we blow up a bunch of children overseas in wars we shouldn't be involved in.
Well, I don't know if that's on the positive side. But just saying.
That's the joke.
But it is a good idea to have people from private industry come into the government and then go back to private industry.
Right. Well, on that note, I think it's the perfect time for me to renounce my Australian citizenship and present to you. Does
that count, actually?
Oh,
a verbal contract.
Straight into a commercial.
I don't know what the rules are for us for renouncing Australian citizenship, but
I didn't really renounce it. But I am an American, just to make that clear. I've had a few people saying, but he's not American. I am. I'm a naturalized citizen and proud to be one.
So you actually came here legally?
100%.
Legally? You didn't?
Yes, I went by the book. But
how very 1980s of you.
Right.
Oh, jeez, man. That's pretty wild where we are as a country.
It's crazy.
Another story, which we'll get into in a second, though, is like Biden selling off the border wall, which is just absolutely insane.
To who?
But how long did it take you, good sir, to come here legally?
It didn't take that long. It was actually pretty easy. I studied.
Really?
Yeah, I studied for the citizenship test. It's 100 questions, and they end up asking you about 10, and you have to get 8 right.
Like, what was one of the questions?
If the president dies and the vice president dies, who will be the president?
Nancy Pelosi.
There you go.
It's not actually true, though. It would be Mike Johnson.
Oh, really?
It would have been Nancy Pelosi a couple years ago, but yes, Speaker of the House. Who's after that?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. It was a long time ago.
Is it President Pro Tem
I believe so.
of the Senate? And then who's after that? It's funny that you're only supposed to know 2.
Yeah, but I can.
Arnold
confirm
Schwarzenegger?
I think it
authority
starts with the
that.
cabinet after that.
Okay, are you sure?
No, I'm not sure. I said I think.
No, I don't think that's true. Cabinet, maybe, but I doubt it. You know, what's another question?
Let me see. It's
What was the Civil War fought over?
yeah, exactly.
Did they actually ask that?
Yeah, they did.
What movie was it where? Oh, it was Simpsons. When Apu is taking the test, and he's like, "Well, actually, it's kind of complicated. Some people might say that it was the slavery, but that there was a lot of tension." He goes, "Just say slavery."
Just say slavery. It was like that. Yeah, it was.
It was like that. Just say slavery.
It was easy, man. I aced it, and I was in. Yeah.
Did you actually get like a number score?
No, I just was.
Pass fail.
I won. Yeah, it's past.
But when you're like, how did you first apply? Like, how do you do it? You just go on the internet and click a button.
Yeah, more or less. And
And these people can't even do that. They come to this country and they come in illegally, and it's just they can't go on the internet and just click a button.
No computers.
That's right. Oh, they have no computers in Honduras, apparently.
I don't know.
you said
guess.
Honduras.
I'm looking to find out.
Yes.
Like, what the
That's
list
where a
is
lot of these
now.
people are coming from. They're coming from Guatemala and Honduras. Now, I get it. Honduras is the murder capital per capita.
I thought it was Jamaica.
No.
Really?
Yeah, Honduras.
I'm looking at the wrong stats, I guess.
I'm pretty sure it's Honduras. And then Venezuela, Caracas has the most murders of anywhere in the world, but not per capita.
Oh wow.
Yep. Let's I think that's what it is. Yep. 4th year in a row. Oh no, it looks like it's improved a bit.
Oh, that's good.
That's good for them. I hope things get better. Which country highest homicide per capita? It was Honduras for a while. What? Really? St. Kitts and Nevis has taken over as the most dangerous place?
There's not that many people there, though.
So it's
Yeah. And that's where rich people buy passports just to avoid paying taxes.
so after it's vice president, speaker of the House, then president pro temp, then secretary of state, secretary of treasury, secretary of defense, then attorney general, then secretary of the interior.
Keep
yeah,
going.
so it does
Keep
good.
Go right to the bottom of the.
Actually, I think it's secretary of state, then the secretary of treasury, then the attorney general, then the secretary of agriculture, secretary of labor, secretary of HUD, secretary of energy, then secretary of veterans affairs. I believe because it says 1, 2 for like it says secretary of state, then secretary of treasury, then it says 1 secretary of treasury and 2 secretary of defense.
Oh,
I think
okay.
that might be who is the vice president.
There's only 18.
Yeah.
After it's Secretary of Homeland Security. After that, there's nothing.
So what happens?
And they just like vote.
Then you have the
No, they
Helvetica.
become the president if well, I mean
All 18 are gone. Then
there is a policy that the federal government has called the restoring the continuity of government. They have a lot of plans to make sure that it never even gets to the Secretary of State. If there's a war and they wipe out the president, vice president, speaker of House, and president pro temp, and they get to the Secretary of State, that's a lot of bad things have gone wrong.
But I asked ChatGPT what would happen if aliens abducted all of them at the same time.
Ooh.
And it says, if all individuals in the official presidential line of succession were abducted or otherwise incapacitated, the situation would be unprecedented and create a constitutional crisis.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was aliens, it would create much more of a constitutional crisis. But
I do actually think that would be a situation where the states would be like, all right, we're going to take care of ourselves and we're going to listen to the governor. You know, if you got rid of the whole line of secession,
Yeah.
or
the aliens. They're just like, we got you now.
We might say, you know what, we're going to listen to the aliens that just took care of all of the line of secession for the entire presidency.
I'd imagine if aliens came and had abducted 2 of our presidential candidates and then threatened a small Midwestern family with abducting the rest of Congress, they would challenge them to actually try, and then they might.
What do you think about the idea that we have about a decade left before contact?
These drones over New Jersey probably are aliens.
That's not extraterrestrial.
proof.
No way. Zero. Zero chance. I'm saying
I don't know, man.
with the James Webb Space Telescope, we're on the cusp of discovering a Dyson sphere or some kind of evidence remotely. It's not
Or
going
we
to...
already did. They're not going to tell you.
You don't think so?
What would be the implications of the government coming out and being like, we just want to let you guys know, like, we literally found an advanced civilization?
I don't think much. I think there's this overhyped thing of like, oh, the government knows and they're not telling us. I don't believe that for a second.
The conspiracy theory is that over the past 4 or 5 years, they've been slamming us with information about UFOs to the point where we're supposed to get bored of it. That way, when they come out and they go, oh, yeah, there's aliens, we'll be like, okay, we get it. Jeez.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be the earth-shattering news that we think it is.
It's kind of working.
Yeah.
Yeah. What they've been doing. I think they came here a long time ago and they're not coming.
You one of those ancient aliens guys?
Kind of am, yeah.
Okay. They built the pyramids. You're on that train?
I don't know if they did it, but I don't know if the people they say they did it.
I think you don't think that it was the slaves
I don't
of the
think so.
Egyptians.
Yeah.
I really
Thank
don't.
you.
And then what they did was they had big horns, and they put the giant blocks in the ground, and then they put giant blocks on top with sand, and then they would all blow horns, which would cause it to vibrate and shuffle forward.
I think that is one of the theories. Yeah.
One of the theories. Or the theory is they floated them because they indeed could be floated through a water canal. And but who knows?
I don't think you need aliens to build the pyramids is my point.
No, I don't think so either.
Thank you.
I agree. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.